This is a call for an uprising. Welcome to today's show. This is a video that I kind of want to rant about, but it's important that everybody listen and step back because everybody's emotions are being played off of, especially in this truth movement. Now, I know there's people who listen to my channel who believe in Trump, who like the alt-right media, which again, I am not a part of because I don't believe in the left and right. I don't believe this is a republic for the millionth time. But this is something that people need to hear because the truth movement, the alt-right movement, is actually deceiving so many people into taking away free speech. They're deceiving people and playing on their emotions. Now, when I started my channel, I made it really clear as to what my channel was about, what I wanted to talk about, exposing Satanism, exposing the occult, the secret societies, exposing a lot of the stuff that goes on with these children, which we all know about. I let people know about McMartin and how that really was key in my awakening process, right? And understanding what these people really are all about. Talking about that to adrenochrome and all this other stuff. But now what I've seen happen is this movement, in a sense, has been hijacked by people who are playing off of the emotions of the awoken, right? So we've all talked about how free speech is being censored online, right? It's happened to me. It's happened to other channels. I've had my channels taken down. I've had them reinstated. I've had strikes on videos that make no sense. Everybody knows this, and everybody sees what's been going on YouTube, right? Now, we all look at it from that perspective and we go, well, no one's going to stand for this because they're not, if they're going to take away our free speech, others out there are going to get pissed off too because they want to stand for the Constitution. They want to have a right to free speech as well. So what we've seen happen is a lot of people who are in the alt-right or a lot of people who are in the truth movement who have been complaining about censorship and all this stuff, the plants, like I've talked about, like Mike Cernovich, the guys who flash the 666 sign all the time, who just arrived on the scene as the voice of reason, right? Who pushed the political Trump agenda. All these guys, all these puppets. What they've done is they've gone out and they've complained about, they're getting their YouTube channels terminated. They're getting their Twitter accounts taken down, right? And people who are in the truth movement are all riled up. Oh, that's not fair. And this is this liberal attack. And now they've played off of your emotion and they flipped it. And this is the problem that I have with all of it. Now, obviously, I don't stand for any type of child abuse, any type of joking about it I think is disgusting, but I do believe in free speech. And I'm sure a lot of you heard about this guy, and I'm going to show you examples of it. We'll start with this guy, James Gunn, right? And the whole story about how Cernovich and all these alt-right people went through his Twitter account and found a lot of creepy jokes, right? Creepy jokes referring to stuff involving children, right? Nobody stands for that. Nobody thinks that that's funny. Nobody thinks that that's great, right? None of us do. But at the same time, you can't link and say, well, oh my goodness, we need to have his, this guy needs to get fired and this guy needs to have his Twitter account taken away because, everybody's gone through his Twitter account. You know why we can't do that? Because this is an agenda that they're now manipulating people who are awake with. Into going, oh man, let's go through all these actors' Twitter accounts. This is what they want you to do. Because now they want people on the right calling for censorship of free speech. So everybody went through this guy's, his posts. He made a lot of disgusting jokes, which isn't surprising. I mean, we've seen all of these celebrities crack jokes, from Bob Saget to this guy. You can go through people's posts and Twitter posts and see just really creepy jokes. And we've seen people out there defending Pizzagate and all this stuff, making jokes about that. Okay? But there comes a fine line where you go, all right, well, if we're going to do the same thing, you got to realize that's what they want you to do. If we're going to do the same thing that they're doing to us, the whole point is that there should be no censorship of free speech. Right? And just because somebody cracks jokes about this stuff doesn't mean they're guilty of it. Is it likely that these people are involved? Of course it's likely. I mean, you know how my feeling is about it. You know my feeling about Hollywood and the entertainment industry. I feel all these people are in on it, right? They've all been blackmailed into this stuff, and this is how they keep their brotherhood intact, because nobody's going to leak these secrets, because they're just going to go, oh, but we've got footage of this guy doing it, right? So none of that stuff's ever going to get out. But what I'm seeing now is a trend that I want to make sure you see. So step away. If you're somebody who's into this and you're going, yeah, that guy deserves to get fired. Step away from your emotions about somebody cracking creepy jokes about kids and realize the bigger agenda. And the bigger agenda is constant censorship of free speech online. Right? And people are falling into it. Now they're going, oh, well, Trump's going to come out and Trump's going to make sure that the alt-right people aren't getting censored anymore. So then the liberals will fire back and everybody will keep going back and forth until there's no free speech online anymore. And so they go, okay, we need to put parameters in as to what can and can't be said. So here's another example. Baseball player, Josh Hader, plays for the Milwaukee Brewers, right? Pitching in the All-Star game a few days ago. And people just decided to go through his Twitter posts from 2012 or 2009 or, as far back as when he was a teenager. And they found quotes that came across racist quotes, right? He used the N-word, I believe, and things like that. And anti-gay quotes, right? And everybody's in an uproar. Oh, should baseball suspend him over the tweets that he made 10 years ago? People are throwing batteries at the guy when he goes out in the game. Do you see the common trend here? About free speech, right? And people better start deleting all their Twitter posts and their Facebook posts. Okay, this is about free speech and hate speech, right? And using anything negative that anyone has ever said to take away free speech, which means taking away free speech from people like us who are trying to get the truth out. Right? They're going to start with stuff like anti-gay slurs. So we can speak and say, well, this is an agenda. And they say, no, that's hate speech, right? We've seen them do that already to this channel and many other channels, right? Stuff about events that are going on and going, oh, no. That's hate speech because those people are vulnerable beings, right? They're going to redefine these terms to censor us. That's why people can't fall for this alt-right truth trap. Another example I covered at the time was Jonathan Martin, a football player who, posted, with all the stuff that was going on in Florida with the guns and, all the stuff that we see going on, posted, when you're a bully victim and a coward, your options are suicide or revenge. And he posted a picture of a gun with bullets, right? And then he had to go into a psych clinic or something like that. And the police came to his door for what he posted. That is what this is overall about. So don't think it's about left and right, and the right is trying to do the same thing that the left's trying to do. The right is trying to censor your free speech as well, and they're playing off of your emotions with these, child trafficking rings. And they're going, look, these guys are cracking jokes about it, and everybody obviously gets in an uproar because any normal human being is not supporting that stuff, and any normal human being is getting pissed off seeing people talk about children in such a disgusting way. But you got to separate that and realize that they're playing you because everything is a psychological operation. All of these stories blowing up in the mainstream of all of these people and going through people's Twitter accounts and things that they've said, this is about censorship and them coming out with new laws and new rules as to what's hate speech and what's free speech and what are the blurred lines between, as YouTube even says, bullying vulnerable individuals, right? Which would tie into talking about any of these events that go on, any of these shootings or any of that stuff, and saying, oh, is it real or is it fake? Well, you can't decide if it's real or it's fake. And you'll say, well, why not? My free speech will say, well, because you're bullying vulnerable individuals, people who have just gone through a tragedy and families who've gone through a tragedy, and now you're censored from questioning and talking about it. And that's what they want. That's the overall agenda here. Right? It's not just going to be this big thing where they go, free speech is now gone. You can't talk about this. You can't talk about that. They're going to keep creating events like this, and people are going to lose their jobs, right? Killings and stuff will happen over these events. The baseball player, more guys like him will pop up. They'll get suspended from baseball from something they tweeted when they were in high school. And they'll say, well, how do we step in and what can we do about this? Well, there's got to be a fine line between what people can and can't say. And people go, yeah, you're right. Saying the N-word, right? That's all a psyop. Calling somebody who's gay, the F word. Psyop, right? They're playing off of your emotions to make you think, oh my gosh, and that word is going to kill them because it's so hurtful and harsh and we need to censor it. And that censorship isn't just leading to, this love movement that I've been talking about, which, everything's love, everything's positivity because everything's tolerance. And just like Crowley preaches, right? how everything is going to be under love, that do without wilt shall be the whole of the law, but law under love, right? So just don't fall for these psychological things because they're playing off of your emotions day and night. Everything they do is psychological. Everything. From fear porn to you name it. Things like this with tweets, they are playing on your emotions so that you ask for your rights to be taken away. Because this stuff's not going to be forced. I've said it a million times. People are, oh, they're going to force it. They're going to be, next thing you know, you're going to open up your door. There's going to be a military tank outside. Huh? I don't think so. You know what's going to happen? There's going to be a military tank outside when the people clamor for it. Because psychologically, they're going to trick you into thinking it's what's best for you. Psychologically, they're going to trick you into saying, you know what? We need to censor what people say because it's hateful. And because of things like the anti-bullying movement, people are so soft, they can't deal with any backlash. They can't deal with any negativity. So now you have the alt-right who's playing at the same exact thing, and they know how to play with your emotions because they know that you people, me, all of us are not monsters. And they know by talking about anything involving children, it's going to make us repulsed and sick. And I'm not saying that this guy isn't one of them. I'm saying this is the agenda behind it. And remember, these guys take the bullet for the brotherhood. They know what the agenda is. All these celebrities with the Me Too movement all took the bullet. You don't think they're still getting paid? You don't think they're, enjoying life, not having to work? Harvey Weinstein, all these guys, not that they worked anyway. It's all part of it. And the victim to all this stuff is going to be now us on the other side because everything is being inverted, right? It originally was about us getting censored. And we heard about all these, Cernoviches and Siemens and, their accounts are suspended. Oh, they don't have free speech. Now Trump is going to do something about it, right? And everything flips the other way where, we're finding people who have quotes about little kids on their Twitter account and they should lose their jobs. They should have their Twitter account suspended. They shouldn't be allowed to speak, right? And I get where people are emotionally attached and go, they shouldn't be. Screw them. I feel the same way about these people. But you can't be calling for their free speech to be taken away because guess what? It's going to lead to your free speech being taken away. And that's what these alt-right puppets are now trying to do. They're manipulating you off your emotions so that they can pass laws and people can come in and go, look, now we can stop these pedos from talking and saying stuff online about, or cracking jokes about kids. Oh, okay. But in between the fine line of the new laws that are going to be passed, you're not going to be allowed to bully vulnerable individuals. And that means talk about anything that goes against the narrative, anything they decide is bullying. Psychological. Remember that. They're always playing on your emotion. There's a reason that these are the mainstream stories, that some pitcher in the middle of an all-star game, suddenly everybody's looking at his quotes from his Twitter post from 5 years ago, and he's getting called a racist, and he should lose his job. And this isn't the only story. There's tons of these stories are out there with celebrities, with musicians, with athletes, and it's going to continue ramping up. So don't fall for the alt-right trying to do this stuff because they're not trying to help any victims of this stuff. Because in the case of this guy Gunn, where are the victims? He's just cracking creepy jokes. And people are calling for him to lose his right to free speech. Well, next is going to be you losing your right to free speech. So don't fall for this alt-right psyop. I thank you for listening to today's show. God bless all of you and your families.